Mike, I didn't see LSU in the college football. Did something happen?
Yeah.
All right. It is 6:00 p.m. on December 9th, 2024. I call the regular board meeting for Beecher 200U. Call to order. Roll call noting the absence of Stacy Mazurek. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have no public comments, but we do have some guests from band here. Who is going? Choir, sorry. I don't, Becker. Okay, I was gonna say, I could have sworn I saw her earlier.
It's like Becker and,
So the,
you can come up.
so we are part of the Illinois Music Educators Association, and every year in the fall, they have audition ensembles that the kids can send an audition tape for, and then through a judging panel from throughout the state, the kids can audition in and potentially get chosen to represent Beecher, or whatever school they go to, in our particular festival. What is cool about this is it does not matter what size the school is. They don't take any of that into account. So it's purely based on their ability level. Our state is divided into 9 different districts. We are in District 1, which is the most competitive district in the state of Illinois. So we are the southern and easternmost part of this district, like literally Grant Park, totally different district. And it goes all the way west to Minooka, and then up to O'Hare. So we have this huge area that over 1,000 kids audition for. And so there's a junior level division and a senior level division that the kids can do for band, choir, and there's also an orchestra division as well. So we were lucky. We had a number of students that auditioned this year, and we each had one kid and from junior high and high school that got selected for band and choir. So.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out, just on behalf of the students, that it really is a lot of work. The audition process alone is very time-consuming, and they put a lot of effort into the preparation for the audition process.
Yes.
And once they get accepted, the work doesn't end there. They have to also prepare the music for the festival so that they can participate with the rest of the group and do a great job. So
because once they get selected, then they go to that festival for that day. So our high school kids went to Elmhurst University on November 9th. They were there all day rehearsing, and then they put on a concert. So there's a guest conductor. So it's pretty neat. They get to perform in this huge ensemble of about anywhere between 120 to 150 kids, depending on the ensemble. And they put on a great concert and did a great job with that.
and the junior high kids went to Cicero, getting the name of the Unity Junior High, huge building, and they put on some wonderful concerts there as well. It was a lot of fun. So without further ado, we'd like to present these certificates of achievement to the ILMEA students. And we'll start with junior high. So let's have Jocelyn Garcia come on up.
And Emma Minich.
What instruments, Jason?
Jocelyn plays oboe. And
Emma is an alto.
And for our high school students, for band, we have Elliot Garcia.
And for choir, we have Annika Rayla.
Elliot is a French one.
Yeah,
Yep.
Annika's an alto. So we're super proud of them. They represented us well, and you know, we're hopeful that every year we get more and more kids to audition and get selected. It's super exciting for us.
So now I need all four of them to come on up here. We're gonna get a picture. So kind of right in the middle.
Yep.
Right
No, I got
across-
on that side because you're
Yep.
taller
I
than
know.
It was cool when the basketball team was here because you didn't see.
They're all taller than me.
Turn around and
You can stand behind any of us being.
Alright, Ms. Missouri, if you can take a half step, that would perfect. Alright, Ms. Flickling, you gotta go to your right, my left. Look at that. Alright, 1, 2, alright, go ahead and get in there, parents. You can stand up and go to the
Yeah,
side. don't
you can
have
move
to
around.
stay where you seat.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, they need coaches then too. They need coaches too.
I don't have to duck.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you guys.
And we'll see you guys Wednesday.
Yes.
We also always say after we have honoring guests, if you would like to leave, you are more than welcome. We do not require that you stay the entire time.
Unless
But you
you
don't
want
have to
to.
leave either.
You get to learn about a levy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Didn't hear about the levy?
So exciting. Taxes.
Kind of takes the wind out of your sails, isn't it?
Right, I thought they were here for me.
You're doing this later, right?
I'm doing it, yeah, I'm gonna do it under my,
That's what I thought. I was just double checking. I didn't want to go moving on. You're like, alrighty.
yeah, I just don't wanna turn it off because the
Okay,
work knows what to turn back on.
Okay, so next up is I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of November 13th, 2024 as submitted.
So moved.
Second. Belt.
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Mazurik.
Yes.
Flickling. Yes. DeChenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve the facilities committee meeting minutes of December 5th, 2024 as submitted.
So moved.
Second. Flores. Yes. Mazurik. Yes. Flickling. Yes. DeChenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve the executive session regular meeting minutes of November 13th, 2024 as submitted.
So moved.
Second. Mazurik. Abstain. Flickling. Yes. DeChenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve the executive session minutes remain closed for the executive session regular board meeting minutes of May 13th, 2024, and the executive session regular board meeting minutes of June 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. Flickling. Yes. DeChenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Mazurik. Yes. Motion carries.
Okay, this next one's really, really big.
There's 11 of them, so.
I need a motion to approve the destruction of audio recorded executive session minutes, recorded negotiations committee executive session from December 14th, 2022, recorded negotiations committee executive session of December 20th, 2022, recorded negotiations committee executive session of December 28th, 2022, recorded negotiations committee executive session of January 4th, 2023, recorded regular executive session of January 9th, 2023, recorded negotiations committee executive session of January 12th, 2023, recorded special board executive session of January 26th, 2023, recorded regular executive session of February 13th, 2023, recorded special board executive session of March 1st, 2023, recorded regular board executive session of March 13th, 2023, recorded personnel committee executive session of June 9th, 2023.
So moved.
Second. DeChenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Mazurik. Yes. Flickling.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, I need a motion to approve the December 2024 expenses as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Flickling.
Yes.
DeChenko.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Alright, next up is the treasurer's report.
All right. Balance in the Super Now account at First Community at the end of November was $6,444,386.21. Outstanding checks at month end were $85,147.24. November payroll expense carryover was $187,159.93, leaving the adjusted bank balance at $6,172,079.04. Lunch program balance was $52,053.62. Compressed fund $5,000, leaving that total balance at $6,229,132.66. Investment balance $5,382,224.85. Even the balance of all funds as of November 30th at $11,611,357.51. November receipts totaled $759,152.05. Expenses $2,245,313.35. Individual fund balances at month end: education fund $7,858,629.78. Building fund $992,304.65. Bond and interest -$101,275.35. Transportation fund $1,302,1698. IMRF $215,011.27. Working cash fund $360,849.38. Tort fund $410,464.23. Life safety $573,356.57. November interest at First Community was $26,194.86. And we had a few distributions from the state. The normal state aid, $350,880. School lunch program, $33,905.91. Driver's ed reimbursement, $1638.56. Title I, $18,127 on the nose. Title II, $96.31. IDEA preschool, $22.39. IDEA flow-through, $90,613. State free lunch, $112.08, and the big one for the end, special milk, $1. And we had the 9th distribution for the real estate taxes of $133,711.62. The other balances are in the packet.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
So moved. Second. Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Flickling.
Yes.
DeChenko.
Yes.
Hanson. Yes. Motion carries.
All right, next up are staff reports. Miss Black.
Good evening, everyone. I don't really have a whole lot of highlights that are sticking out from my board report, other than it's getting close to break. Everyone is encouraging everyone to be on their best behavior and following our school-wide expectations of being respectful, responsible, and safe. And we have a lot of exciting things coming up. Of course, the kids are doing some exciting things in the classroom, getting ready for the holidays. We will have our Wheel of Wisdom. We do that the last day right before break on Friday here at the high school gym. We also will have our classroom parties. And so other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. Do you have any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Kwasny.
I just have a few things to share also. One thing I wanted to say is I wanted to remind everyone that the concert for Beyond and Choir is on Wednesday. Also, our Student and Youth Spirit Week going on this week, another fun thing. And I wanted to let everyone know we're taking the pre-ACT for our 8th graders. That's going to be on Monday. So we transitioned from the PSAT because the high school and all the high schools in Illinois have transitioned, so we're just following suit. So it'll be the first time the kids are taking it, so we'll see how they do. And then we're also planning all of our upcoming state testing dates for this spring as well right now. And then the last thing I wanted to share is just that our PE department is planning the winter games, which will be on the last day before we go on winter break, and they're all picking their teams. They don't have to play, they can be spectators if they want. They're really excited about that. And our PE team also just got back from a conference, so they had a lot of fun things that they were gonna share. I heard a little bit about it, not too much. But I did get a chance to touch base with Mr. Palin today, so that will be reflected on the next board meeting notes. Did anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Mr. Meyer.
Hello. I've got something that's not in your packet, but I just want to talk about a few things. Our school to work program. We've done it in the past. Dr. Gaham did it, and I know Principal Schilling did it before that. I'm assuming Dr. Wright did before I left here. But we want to put a little bit more effort on the students' part than we have in the past. So this is only going to be during study hall right now. Possibly it might be during 7th period, depending upon if they have their graduation requirements taken care of, and let's say they've got, you know, something that they don't need, that they're just, I don't want to say wasting their time, because there's no class that wastes their time. But I mean, if we want them to move on to their profession, we're open to that, but not right away. So we're looking at seniors, no Fs, complete math and science and social studies graduation requirements, and they have to have their PE and English their senior year as well. One of the things that we haven't done in the past that we are going to do is we're going to have them do a mock interview with Mr. Sarsi and myself. We think that's important just to get used to it. So I know some of the KACC kids have the career class where they do go through some interviews. Some of these kids have no idea how to interview or how to look at people or talk, and so we think that's going to be a huge plus for this. Also, a lot of this is online, so they're going to go through school links and go through that. There's an application process, and Steve's going to pass this out. We don't have a number of students right now. We're sitting on this until I told Steve that I would just present kind of what we're going to do. Steve can get word of mouth the next week and a half, and then get some of this information out, get the parents and the students to fill out the online application. And then when we come back from break, that's maybe when we'd like, that first week, you know, maybe start doing some of the interviews, maybe even in the second week, if we can get some of the first week when we get back, get some of the kids out the second week. We did this last year in terms of letting some students out, but we didn't have this full process. Some of the questions that we're going to ask, you know, just make sure that they have reliable transportation. Have you completed the top skills, the career assessment? What field are you planning to pursue? How does leaving high school early help you achieve those goals? What skills do you believe are most critical for entering the workforce? So we're going to have the sponsor. You know, the sponsor has to give us a timesheet. We also aren't looking for a student that works once or twice a week. You know, we want 3 or 4 days a week. We want 20 out of the 30 days. This isn't about just getting out of study hall so I can go home. We've got people right now that work at 3. Their employers say we need you at 3, and school doesn't get out till 2:57. Well, they've signed me up for 3. Well, that's kind of your employer's fault, but we also want to work with people too. So we think if we can get them out at 2:31, then they would be able to get to work by 3. So again, we've had this in the past. Like I said, Dr. Gaham, I know in 2000, he showed me what they've done in the past. From 2018, Mr. Schilling had a document as well. And so, but a lot of this, again, it's online. They're going to have to upload their schedule, upload their forms. So it's a pretty good deal. Steve thinks it's a good deal. And since we're paying nice money for school links, we should use school links. Keep all that in one location instead of our files.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we're looking at. So we think it's a good idea. We've got some kids that are really interested in you know, going and starting work at 3 o'clock. And we've got kids that work till 11. I'm not really a fan of all that, but we know kids work. So maybe if we can get them out here earlier, they get off earlier. I don't know. So that's what we think.
And these are jobs that they found themselves, or are we?
Yeah, no, they already have the jobs. And we're not giving school credit. In the past that they've given school credit, this is just, you know, they're leaving 27 minutes. Again, they can't have Fs. They got to be on the graduation track. All those things that, you know, check the box. If they, you know, it's another piece of, if they don't need to be here, go to work. Quit walking the halls, quit, you know, doing all those great things that you do for the school from 2:31 to 2:57. So that's another incentive on my part. But like I said, I don't know how many kids. I don't think it's going to be, and so like I said, it's only seniors. We're not going to have 50 So I shouldn't say, I don't even know, I shouldn't say. Maybe we will, but I don't know if 50 kids work. I was a class of 88, so. So that's what we hope. We think it's good. We like it. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Gaham.
We had 0 FOIAs this last month, so that's one of the 2 things I always have on my list of notes. Mr. Duncan, is that in view for you, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Board, can you see that? I will make sure.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. All right, so here is my annual Beecher levy of 2024. So I guess it's not annual if it's 2024. It's the levy this year. So you notice this is, oh, Joe, it's working. Just messing with you. You'll notice this was not at the very beginning like it was last year. So this is not a truth and taxation hearing. I'll obviously explain why it is and is not. So this year, this is not a truth and taxation hearing, but why would you need one? Well, a truth and taxation hearing is allowing voters to come and hear when a proposed tax levy of is coming up on of the following school year. So again, what we're levying now is what's collected next year that is then budgeted the following year. So the money that we're talking about today is not next year's money. It's the next year's money coming out of taxes, but it's going for school year 26-27. So a long, long way away. So do we have to, why must you hold one? In particular, there's that magic 5% rule. If your aggregate is your proposed aggregate is larger than your extension, by 5% or more, you must have a truth and taxation hearing. So what do some of those words mean? And again, you've seen this before. This is my 4th year presenting it, folks. So here are some of the words. PTEL. You live in Will County, folks. Beecher 200U is within Will County. We are a PTEL district. That means we are a property tax extension limitation. That means your property taxes per a PTEL law can only go up 5% or CPI, whatever is less, unless passed by referendum. Last year, if you remember, you passed a referendum. You were required to have that truth and taxation hearing because obviously it went up more than 5%. So this year, what is it at? Whoa, we'll get there. Calm down, guys. We got to get through some other vocab. Your levy is your projected amount that you're going to receive. Everything I'm giving you is preliminary because what Will County Clerk's Office does, they send something to me in September and say, hey, this is what we believe your property EAV is going to be for the county of Will and a little bit, Washington Township and a little bit of Will Township. Use these for your formula. It's all speculative. And then your extension is the actual amount that you get. So I am anticipating, I am projecting these are the numbers we're going to get, and we won't actually be confirmed on all this until we get all of this at the beginning of next year in March. So everything I'm telling you now is anticipated. Done it for 4 years, and I'm happy to say in the last 4 years we've been pretty doggone close. So pat it on my back, yeah. And then your aggregate is the actual money you receive. So what is the proposed levy for Beecher? Remember last year you had a 535 per referendum. The proposed levy rate next year will drop to 506. And if you remember all the presentations I've given you in the past, in general, if your property value goes up, which is a good thing in the world, unless referendum, your rate will go down. So last year's extension was 11.27 million after the referendum. This year's proposed levy is 11.76. So that's roughly a percent increase of 4.3. Revenue to the school. That's a proposed revenue increase of 4.3. Someone's going to ask me, I promise I'll get to this answer. The revenue to the school up 4.3% per local taxes. So is that the percentage you use for a truth and taxation hearing? Well, yes, it is actually, because unlike 4 years ago, 3 years ago when I was a superintendent starting out, you no longer have a bonded attachment to your extension. So therefore, that is the only money that you'll be getting. In the years past, you had an extra like 106, 107 on top of that. You wouldn't consider that as part of your extension. So Beecher no longer has that, so you don't have to worry about it. So There you go. So since the increase of 4.3% do we have to have a truth in taxation hearing? I really hope not, because I didn't do the newspaper stuff and we didn't actually have a hearing. So no, we do not. Congratulations, this is all just transparency. Why do you, what is the the anticipated total tax rate? As I mentioned before, it's going from 535 to 506. That is a percent decrease. Is my taxes going down? No, that's none of this is, your taxes aren't going up or down because of what I'm telling you. The rate will go down, the revenue to the school will go up. I cannot tell you what Ms. Mazurek, Ms. Flickley, I cannot tell you what your taxes are going to be. However, we'll get there in a second. I'm going to let you know how you can figure it out yourselves. Woo. Again, why do I keep on saying anticipated, folks? Because we don't know the firm numbers. Yeah, there's people will come in, they'll file for exemptions, things like that throughout the next year. And so we continue to use the word anticipated. We believe this is the money that's going to come in. So who decides it? As I told you, it's the Will County clerk. The clerk herself doesn't do it, but the clerk's office is the one that finds out. It is not me driving down the road in my truck going, oh, Mr. Herman, I see you put a shed on there. No, I don't do that. I get those numbers from the county. So here's, I've shown you guys this for the last 4 years and I keep adding on. I do subtract the top one and I add it on the bottom. So this shows you exactly where your levy was all the way back in 2016, your limiting rate. You'll notice in the middle here, you did have an extension up until 2022. This is the actual revenue from local taxes that came into the school district. You'll notice that your percent change went down every year up until 2023, and that's when the referendum came through, and then it went back down again by 5.4%. So this kind of gives you an idea of what your tax rates will look like. So, are my taxes going up or down? It's the number one question people, and it's a good question. So, I can't answer that for you. However, here's what I can tell you. It depends on your EAV. So let's say hypothetically I have a house that's worth, and if I get when I get my tax bill, y'all, right at the very top it says your EAV. If your EAV last year was $360,000, they tax you on 1/3 of that, so you divide it by 3, so $120,000 is your taxable portion of it. You then divide that by 100 to get to your tax table, and then you multiply it by your rate. So last year, if your house was worth $340,000 or $360,000, your taxes to the school district was $6,420. Now, that's last year. This year, what would happen? Well, with the anticipated rate, if you did nothing and your property value did not go up at all, no bearing on what we did, this is just something you did in your home. If you have the exact same EAV, your taxes will actually go down $348. If you did improvements to your home or your value went up, let's say it goes to $400,000, yes, your taxes will go up. Okay, and then, if it goes up and we would have stayed the same, obviously they would have gone up. So if your EAV goes up and we stay the same, 100% it goes up because property went up. This is the $100,000 question. Okay, if my value goes up and my rate goes down, where am I at? And this is the answer I cannot provide you because I don't know your EAV. But please understand, you need to be able to figure this out. And Joe actually created something for me. So when you go to our website, and this presentation will be right there. It's the top button is Levy Presentation 12/9/24. Right underneath there, it says Levy Calculator. There's also a URL right there that if I clicked on it, it would send me to it. It will take me to this form that is blank. All you'll have to do is put in your last year's value, and then you put in this year's value, and it will do this number for you. So if you really want to know what happens to your specific taxes and you can prepare for it, on your tax bill last year, find your EAV. Find your tax bill this year, find the EAV. You put those two numbers in, hit enter, and all of this will formula tell you how much your taxes will be for the school district and whether it went up or down. Again, I don't know your property value and what happened, but that's how you could easily figure it out. And again, if you go on the web page, on the legal files, where you'll find all of our budget, everything like that. There'll be this presentation, so you can even go to this slide and click that URL if you want, or you can click on that button right below and open an Excel document. It should be locked, Joe, am I correct? The document itself is locked, so all you can do is type those numbers in and hit enter. You can't change formulas or anything like that. Okay? So, if at home, there you go. Have some fun with that. Enjoy some Excel spreadsheets. Policy 410, this was new last year. Your operational fund expenditure, there was a law in place that says you can't have more than 2.5 times your operating expenses in reserve. Otherwise, you have to do a spending plan as opposed to a deficit plan. I assure you folks, we do not have 2.5 times that amount. However, if we did, our 2.5 times our 3-year average of our 3 primary accounts is $46,031,527. We have $10 million. We're good. We don't have to have an expenditure plan. So this is just public knowledge to let you know that per policy 110 or 410, we continue to follow the law, and we are less than 2.5 times our operational costs. We saw this last year, and if you look at your little cheat sheet or your thing that Mr. Peters read, you get about 10% in December. These are where your distributions take place. They start collecting first of the year, and then the school districts start seeing the first ones around May and June. So that's why we kind of normally try to use end of September, end of August, early September is our kind of our pinpoints time. So it's just before the September payroll comes or levy comes in. Now we're back at the beginning. Questions about the levy? It's really fun to do. All right. I'm gonna probably break something here. Joe, if I break something, blame Katie.
Is that all you had for your staff report?
That's all?
I'm just making sure. I don't want to move on. You're like, I'm not done.
There's nothing else.
I'm just verifying.
No, anything else was already included, because I'll talk about Miss Garcia at that time.
Okay, that's fine.
Other than that,
Okay, next up would be the committee updates. Carbs did have a meeting last month, but it was the same night as the spaghetti dinner, and I had to volunteer for that for the sophomore class. But I did hear that they were just ironing out the kinks for their new adding aviation, and then talking about some of their CTE requirements and keeping that up to date. That's it. Me? Yeah.
All right. Well, the Beecher Education Foundation is they have set their dinner. It is Saturday, February 15th. They have a new venue this year, which is CD&Me in Frankfurt. So it's a beautiful place if you've never been there. The ticket cost this year has gone up a little bit, but it is $100 a person. So, you know, it could be a nice Valentine's gift. Go out to dinner with your significant other. So they've started sales starting December 1st. You can get tickets online at eventbrite.com. If you go to eventbrite.com and type in Beecher Education Foundation, you can find it there. There's also information on Facebook. You can search the Education Foundation. They have, or if you come across their flyer, they have a nice QR code that you can scan, and it'll take you right to the event to purchase tickets. And then, of course, if you know a member of the foundation, they are selling them as well. So you can get a ticket from them, and tickets are on sale until January 31st. That's all I've got for that.
Let's go around. Stacy.
Okay. For Beecher Youth Commission, I don't really have too much to report. We do have our next meeting next Tuesday. Last meeting, though, we did find out that we did lose a member. We're very sad to see that person go, but family obligations, of course. So we are, of course, still recruiting for more volunteers, more members. If anybody's interested, next week, Village Hall, 7:30 p.m. Tuesday. please come out.
Their upcoming events are the dances, right? Those are the new-
Yes, we're planning Martin Luther King holiday for the kids too.
Oh,
We were
the
kind of
bowling
going back
alley.
and forth with ideas. More than likely, it looks like bowling is a go. It wasn't going to be, but since they're staying open, looks like it will be, so. More to come.
For the PTO, they've started their holiday shop this week. And Kristen was telling me about things that they're trying to raise money for. They threw some, or asked, I guess, some of the staff, like, any ideas. And some of the stuff they got was like new desks for 4th grade or a new AED machine that's closer to the nurse's office. And I was like, that's interesting. Maybe that's not a PTO expense, so I don't know if maybe we could help out with that. So I don't know if anybody else knew that 4th grade desks are apparently losing legs. But that was, I don't know what else they are working towards, but that is, because they raised about $5,000 with the mom fundraiser. So they're looking for somewhere to spend their money. That's all I got.
And they still have, if anyone wants to volunteer and help with the holiday shop,
Yes,
it's
they're
online.
looking for volunteers,
And they're still
yes.
opening this week.
Yeah. And 3rd grade shops tomorrow.
For the Booster Club, we've been doing the junior high concessions. Selling is going pretty well. So if parents giving their kids cash is good. If you've not been to a high school basketball game, we have a brand new, fantastically large scoreboard that I know they've gone through some training and it is really cool. So there's a lot of cool graphics on there that they've been working on. So, and we brought Chuck-a-Duck back with more prizes for the kids. We'll have a bunch of new things coming up in the new year, but right now we're just getting back into the girls and boys games.
That's the scoring table at the.
Yeah, the new
Awesome.
scoring table, so they got a little
Those are
bigger one,
cool.
so like more of them can sit there to do the stats or do the announcing, but screens, we'll have ads and just a whole bunch of cool things on there. So that was a nice little thing, so, but if kids still want community service hours, we're still gonna have girls volleyball at the junior high and boys basketball in the new year, so we'll give your kids service hours if they come.
Scholarship, I do not have any updates at this time.
Chamber did the tree lighting and trees on Dixie, and the dinner meeting is Monday with an election of new officers.
Okay. So next, moving on to old business. So I need a motion to approve the fiscal year 24 tax levy as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We had the price quote in our board documents on the clear residency system, on what it would cost us to renew, and that it was a success, and our staff enjoys having it. So I need a motion to approve the renewal of the clear residency system.
Second.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have executive, I forgot to add.
I have nothing in particular that, I wanted to speak to Ms. Garcia and the wonderful work she's doing. She's the one that's up for the bilingual transitional educator position. She was actually here, she's Elliot's mom. That's not why, moving forward with what we are. If you guys remember, Yahaira, she was a junior high secretary, and then she had a college degree, she took this test, and she is now our bilingual educator at the elementary school. We still need another bilingual teacher at the junior high by law. We're doing our very best, so the state's aware of what we're doing. Right now we have an ELA teacher that kind of covers that spot for us. So Denise has a college degree, and she actually went the same route. She took the test. I'm very proud of her and very happy to say that she passed her test. And so she is now in the pipeline to get the trilingual, maybe trilingual, the bilingual transitional educator license. She's working with Yahira right now to figure out all that licensing. And so the plan is to have you guys approve her tonight. She would start in January. She would then shadow Yahira for the quarter 3. And then quarter 4, she would take over for Yahira, and we would transition Yahira to the junior high. We would have a bilingual teacher at the elementary. We would have a bilingual teacher at the junior high. We would be 100% legal in terms of that. And then Mr. Giannotti would transition to be at the high school with a additional need being filled in the near future. We'll bring that to you guys once we iron that out. But he also has a secondary degree in English, and so we're looking at maybe adding an elective that Mr. Giannotti will be able to help us out with at the high school. So all phenomenal things. Again, Denise did a great job, and I'm very proud of her. And I know, Larry, back in the day, you and I agreed, if we can find them from within and promote from within, can't say enough about that. So that's my little spiel about Miss Garcia.
Okay, so for employment, does anyone need anybody separated out? No? Okay, I'm gonna keep them all together then. I need a motion to approve the employment of Margaret Landis as an elementary school aide and high school assistant softball coach, Amanda Alderfer as head junior high track and field coach, and Rihanna Hamp as assistant junior high track and field coach, and Denise Garcia as bilingual transitional educator.
Second.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to acknowledge the resignation of John Herron as high school varsity volleyball coach and Don Compton as high school boys varsity soccer coach.
So,
Second. Flickling?
yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next up is the school maintenance grant, which was also on your desk when you walked in. What we had talked about at facilities, the items that we're putting forth to try to get approved. Is there anything else?
Yep, it's the, we're gonna focus on primarily the doors here at the high school, mainly that freshman wing, getting those taken care of. The quote came back around $4,100 per door. The 3 light poles here at the south side of the drive are on there, and then the locking mechanism at the junior high all are in there. Once you approve it, I'll submit it to ROE, and then Dr. Sparling will let me know the next steps on his end.
Could we also look at a second locking mechanism at the junior high? Once they go through the first lock, they can go right into the secretary's offices.
So, separate than the maintenance grant, the answer to that is yes. I've had conversations with the ladies there, and they do have a buzzer system. Is Dr. Quasny looking at me, or are you looking at me? So, yeah. The answer is 100% yes. I don't think, the answer is yes, Larry. The problem is because they don't have the windows like the elementary and the high school have where you can see through it, that's causing a little bit of an issue, so they have to be watching the cameras, and they have asked us not to have that done. But I can, once again, re-engage them with that conversation. But yes, you're right. Because where they see it is, unlike the high school and elementary, where their cameras are also on the outside, but then they can see them when they come through the double doors. The junior high, I mean, there's...
After they've gone through the first one, they can't see them.
Yeah.
Correct. And even the first one, we've rearranged, I know Joe and Brandon have done some rearrangement of cameras as well. It's a need, I agree.
Okay.
And we're trying to get it done correctly.
Okay.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the school maintenance grant as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're down to other discussion items. Therapy dog, you had an update in the
I
email.
do. I forgot to mention, yes, my wife did buy this sweatshirt for me. So, the therapy dog, I should be back next week to go, thank you for opening your eyes, to present to the foundation. We're asking for them to cover the cost of the therapy dog. What I want to do is make sure there's no basic stop signs from any 7 of you to say, don't do this, because once we get down that path, the plan would then be in January to approve the purchase of it, and then Steve would get his training done. Steve and Kayla Heist would be the ones getting their training done in March. I've, again, talked to legal, they have no problems with this. Talked to insurance, insurance has no problems with this. Like, there is nothing really prohibiting us on either aspect of that. The plan would be for them to start here at the high school. The dog would be, again, it sounds callous, I get it. The dog would be the property of the school district. It is owned by the school district. However, Mr. Sarseny would be the caretaker. As long as Mr. Sarseny is in the employment of us, and as long as Mr. Meyer will continue to have Steve Sarseny in our employment, Steve will be the one responsible for the dog. If Steve is here, the reason you would train a second one is if Steve is at school one day and he goes to KACC for a guidance counselor day, the dog obviously doesn't follow him, so then Kayla would be the one that would maintain the animal for that day. That we're not saying we're not taking it to the other buildings yet, but we're, again, ships turn slowly in this world, so I think this is from my perspective, something I've wanted to do for over 3 years, and I'm glad that's now taking a step forward. So, does anybody have, go ahead, Ms. Brooke.
I'm not totally against it, but I guess I'm not sold on it either. What do we think the benefits of having the animal here would be?
It's an extreme anxiety reducer. If we have a lot of kids that are really struggling and having anxiety, they go see Dr. Sarseny or Mr. Sarseny, and they can spend time as they're speaking with their counselor with this dog, and it's very calming and soothing, and we use them. I'm an advocate.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's an SEL component. It's an additional thing.
And what do we do with, like, if there's any allergies in the building? Does the dog stay in the guidance counselor's office so that?
Yeah, so the dog would be primarily in the office. However, if they did, like some of the schools, if they have a period where they go and they kind of introduce the kids, or there's an SEL lesson that they're going to teach, and they have, let's say the dog's name is Molly. I don't know if the dog's name is Molly. I don't even know if it's female, but let's say Molly joins along. What they do is they send out a notice to the family saying, hey, Molly will be in the classroom this particular day. Even if the kid's not allergic, if mom or dad say, you know what, my son, my personal son is scared to death of dogs. So we would say, hey, just have Jack go to the library that particular class. So there would be communication, obviously, anytime.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well, and I hope they'd be hypoallergenic.
Yes,
I mean, you would
as
hope,
much
like,
as one can
if
be.
it's a therapy dog and they're training and selling them, you would think they would only breed hypoallergenic dogs, but maybe not.
I don't think they do.
Oh,
I think they do.
Yeah, it's not,
Oh, okay.
not really a thing, but
Yeah.
There's both.
There are.
they
but
claim that they are, but it's not.
They don't, okay.
A lot of them are retrievers because they're.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think those are.
Any anticipated problems with the financing?
I don't believe so. And again, I will know before the January board meeting, when I bring it to you guys, what the financing would look like from the foundation. And then we can have a separate conversation about if it doesn't happen through the foundation, how we want to finance it. Full transparency, I'm asking for $10,000. That's not only going to cover the price of the animal and the training for Kayla and Steve, it'll also cover their transportation, their housing. They might put Steve in the doghouse, I'm not sure. And then some additional vet bills that we could foresee coming up, and then some basic needs of the animal for the first year. So all that together is about $9,500 off the bat. So.
Okay. Good.
Well, and something like this is right up the alley of the foundations, you know, what they look for. Innovative, something they're bringing to the classroom that would benefit all the kids, so fingers crossed.
I agree.
Okay, and then next would be the 25-26 calendar that you've been working on with the reps. That is not until January getting approved.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it in your guys' hands, so if you're out in the community and people have questions. There are two options. There's the union provides a person from each building. They come in, they have a meeting with me, we sit down, we get as far as we can, and if there's ever a disagreement, per the contract, we provide both options to the school board. And then you guys can decide which way to go or no way at all. But that's up to your guys' discretion. I just didn't want to give it to you on a Friday and then have you vote on it on a Monday. It wouldn't be fair to you guys. So.
Okay, dokie.
So I want to bring up some questions that I have on here. Do you want, I don't know if you want to talk about so one of those calendars is an earlier start, earlier start, and the other one's a later start. The later start has finals after break.
Yes.
Was there ever an option for a later start with finals before break? I asked that question first.
So in my conversation with them is I am not a proponent as the educational leader of the district to have a 10-day discrepancy. That's 2 full weeks between first and second semester. And I know in the conversation I've had with it's primarily going to be the high school teachers that are affected because of finals. They also agreed 10 days is a lot. Even 6 days where it currently is a lot to them, but 4 more days, almost a full week more is a little more than they were willing to accept. So we went back to the philosophy Beecher had 7 years ago. I think it was 7 years ago before Mr. Cox was here when they had finals after break.
I was gonna say, I know when I taught here, we had finals at like second week of January or something.
Yeah.
So obviously the finals don't affect the junior high and the elementary. In the high school, it'll only affect kids who are in semester courses. And currently we have government econ semester courses?
Yeah,
Health,
there's accounting, sociology, driver's ed and health.
Okay.
Econ, which are almost all senior classes, except for driver's ed and health, and those kids get out 10 days
They get out
early.
10 days early.
So like our calendar is not even equal. I looked it up. We're like 8 to 10 days.
We're 10 days and we take finals before and it's not a
Yeah.
problem at all. Our calendar right now, I counted as 8 days difference this year, and there's finals before break. I'm very concerned, I do not like finals after break. I know we went through it, my son went through it this year, or last year as a freshman when he got really sick and had to take finals after break. I understand the reasoning of having it equal, but in the long run, isn't it only affecting the kids who swap government econ? So it's those kids, because do they do it, the seniors that are opposite? So.
Yeah, 'cause they do econ and then sociology.
Or, is that how that's how it is done here, right?
Yeah.
So econ first and sociology?
Mr. Meyer, is it econ then sociology or
On the second part.
Yeah, so it's
Sociology
swapped.
second.
So it's
I think it's sociology because I think,
Yeah, because usually then the PSAP, the Prairie State kids get a study hall that period because they take it with Prairie State instead. That's how my kid did it last year.
it is, sociology is in the
Yeah.
second part. Yeah.
So then those kids like.
Econ honors and then sociology.
Yeah, because that's how my kid did, so you get a study hall or PE instead second semester. Because if you're Prairie State.
If we offered sociology, we didn't offer sociology this year, but last year.
Yes, yes.
So on, like, Mr. Meyer, so how many kids would it affect if you did have, we picked the later start date and we still had finals before break? How many kids would it actually affect having the 10 days extra? Minus if there was seniors, they
So
get out early.
seniors- Well, seniors, if they have Bs and above and less than 4 unexcused, they're exempt. Everybody else takes first semester, everybody else
Right.
takes first semester test. Second semester, anybody that has As, any underclassmen, any freshman, sophomore, junior that has an A or above and less than 4, they don't have to take it. But that's not a huge, that's not a, I like the incentive, but I don't know how many kids right off the top of my head know, but everybody takes it first semester.
No, I'm talking about the 10-day difference. So how many kids would be affected by the 10-day difference of 10 days extra second semester to put the finals after break instead of before? So how many kids are actually affected if those courses are senior courses and seniors get out early, right?
Yes,
So how many kids are affected by
the
that?
seniors will still take semester tests, whatever.
Right, but they're talking about the, because like, I guess, because you're concerned that there's 10 more days of curriculum instruction, but
Say our
10.
AP kids,
Yeah.
that might
AP.
be, that would be.
Well, that's a year course, so it doesn't matter, so it's a year course. So no matter what, if you have a before or after, you can shift your teaching to whatever.
Would just
Well, but it
be-
kind of matters for grades, because if you only get through so much curriculum, because your grades are your semester and your semester combined.
It's really gonna be a, you
No,
know,
because then you just adjust your
Yeah, you
curriculum
adjust it.
plan.
I
You still get
teach-
through all your stuff.
I teach AP. I have it, doesn't matter. I'm just concerned about having the finals after break. I fully support the majority of the teachers who want it, the school start later. I think the later start, I think starting the 11th this week is very early, especially for our elementary teachers who need to go into the classroom 2 weeks and spend all that time. That is very early. But I also don't like the kids having finals after, so I would like a mix of this. Is that possible? And that's my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there because being a high school teacher, right now we have a 10-day difference. We have finals before break.
But
and
also the
we've always
elementary
had-
teachers don't have to go in 2 weeks before.
I know, but-
I mean, I'm an elementary
No, I
teacher,
know.
I don't go before.
I'm just saying, like.
I'm just saying, like, them needing 2
I
weeks.
know a
you-
majority of the, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
like as a teacher, what people do, like, and I go in 3 days before, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm just like thinking of making sure everybody's happy. And I was just wondering if like, seeing the 55 and 45, because it was a very close vote, I'm wondering if, and I don't know if that's even option, I don't know if this, I'm just throwing it out there, everyone could say no.
See, I kinda
and
like the
agree.
earlier start, because then they get out before June. Like, or before that whole, I hate going to school into June, but
That's gonna happen.
everybody
no matter
has
what.
their own
It's gonna happen
personal.
whenever, yeah. Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
what I'm, you know, what I'm
Starting early
experiencing, so I'm
stinks.
throwing it out there. I wonder how many people would vote for, if there was those 3 options, I don't know if that's even possible, if even to change the options of still doing the later start date with the finals before break.
Question, when does Prairie State start second semester? My issue with final second semester is what's gonna happen to the graduating early seniors who are going to college or the Prairie State kids? Because if Prairie State starts when we're giving finals here, could be a little bit of a
That's
cluster.
probably, yeah, if we had the second week of January, they would probably already be starting.
Right, so that would, to me, that would be, I don't know, I just would be, for those seniors, that would be a.
That's
a little-
30, yeah, that's 32, around 30.
So that's about a third, close to half of a senior class that's gonna be at Prairie
Sorry,
State.
juniors and, yeah.
Juniors and seniors, okay.
Juniors and seniors, so it'd be around,
Days
around
for that.
30.
Yeah, and that's, if they have to
Same
come
thing
to
about that.
Prairie State in the morning and take a final
Yeah,
the
make
same
those
day,
up, so, yeah.
that's a lot on a kid, to me. Or if a kid's gonna graduate early, I know it's like 1 or 2 kids, maybe, but they couldn't have to come back and take a final while they're gonna go to Prairie State, like, I don't know. Personally, we don't start on a single digit day. I would hate to start the 11th, 12th, and I have, and it stinks. I get it though, I mean, I know it is difficult when you have kindergarten through 12th grade to balance everybody. But I don't know, to me, the 10 days, I get it, I do not wanna lose 10 days of instruction with kids by any means. The most it would affect are the kids who aren't even gonna be here, because they're seniors and that's their semester course.
Yeah.
Like, it
But
wouldn't
also as
affect
an
it.
elementary, it's kind of nice to start in the middle of the week or towards the end of the week, because you can get all your procedures and everything done, and then you start Monday with like curriculum. So that's every grade level is different, because for elementary, starting on a Monday pretty much means you waste an entire week, because you're not gonna start, your units go by week, Miss Black's shaking her head, yeah. The way we do our units are weekly, or 2 weekly and stuff like that. So when you have school and you start like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you get your procedures done, we do all our fun getting to know you kind of stuff, and then we can hit the ground running like Monday like normal. This is our normal Monday, our normal Tuesday, our normal, that is a bigger to me than giving more time for their classroom would be, because if not, then you're kind of, your schedule is kind of messed up beginning. But that's why I said, that's a hard thing about being a K through 12 district, is every building
Yeah.
does have different needs
Yeah.
and different things. That's why they have the committee and they kind of meet, and that's why we have the 2 options.
I hate finals after break, because there is such.
Because
a-
there's no, yeah, oh yeah,
There's
that's
such
why
a-
there's the option with before, but if you
Yeah.
do before, here's the start date.
yeah,
If you do after, here's the start date, because you're not gonna please everyone at every building. That's part of being a K-12 building.
Right.
They kind of worked
Yeah.
together and they hammered out those 2 options for us, and
I'm curious, I mean, like I said, I don't know if it would make even a difference to find out like what percent of the people who voted were like elementary, junior
Yeah.
high. What the key sticking point is. And again, I don't wanna spend too much time on this, it's calendar, but I know like it's a big deal when the calendar comes out, it is a big deal of what it is. Like what is, like, cause it is a close vote, majority, it's, what's the sticking point?
The majority of elementary wanted the Thursday
later.
teacher start.
Oh,
The
really?
the majority of the high school wanted the Tuesday teacher start.
Oh, wait, teacher start, I'm thinking. Okay.
Yep, and then the junior high was split down the middle basically, so.
Just out of curiosity, is there any opportunity for the different schools to start at different times, or do we have to start as a district one time?
Because you're a unit
You're a
district,
unit district.
it's a ROE approved calendar for the state.
Then you got your days, in your contract, the days that you work. Everyone's gotta work you can't work different days.
Okay, so for the January 8th board meeting, we will know more about the early childhood space at Peace Lutheran, right? Because you will have their meeting.
Yes, Mr. Barber and I are still in communication. Their next board meeting is the 16th, where he'll find out more about what's happening with that extra classroom and the other program. I did send a really rough resolution to Mr. Gleason. They have him kind of peruse it to make sure that everything in there is copacetic with us potentially taking over a wing at the Peace Church. So, once I know more, so will you.
Alright. And then upcoming dates, of course, winter break. And then Teacher Institute is on January 6th. Usually if anybody wants to come to it, I think they start at 7:30, right, for breakfast? Is it 7:30 or 8? Is it? I don't know, I can't, was it 8? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I guess I can't say a time.
No, it's 7, because that's Laney, right? So Laney's gonna start at 8 o'clock probably. What time is Laney set to start on the 6th?
Okay.
Oh, but yes, you're always
We
more
usually
than
do 7:30 to 8, we start at 8.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Usually you had breakfast at 7, between 7:30 and 8, where everyone just kind of.
And Mr. Meyer
Chit-chat.
prepares breakfast, is it
Yeah.
usual?
If he wants to take credit for it, 100%.
And then January 8th will be our next board meeting, normal date and time. So nothing else coming up? No?
I do have a personnel matter I want to discuss. We probably can talk about it in the January board meeting. But there's just kind of looking at what next year's staffing will look like.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
start
not,
thinking
it's not
about
like,
that.
yeah, we're not firing and I'm not quitting yet, so.
But start talking about what the district will need in the future.
I'm just being facetious. Hopefully that's still there.
It's a surprise.
100% it is. There's more over here too.
Okay, so next would be a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
See, I like no executive session because then they have to stay the whole time. They can't get